Hello guys and gals, me Mutahard, and ladies and gentlemen, yesterday was the biggest social media ban in human history.
The tech tyrants just went nuclear ahead of schedule.
What I know over here is Twitter basically banned Donald Trump's account, 88 million followers, proving you could be the most powerful person in the face of the planet and have a very, very high follower count, but Twitter doesn't care. They want you gone, they want you gone.
Man, if you were a bully in school and you used to pick on kids and call them nerds, you're looking all kinds of stupid now. Because those nerds didn't just grow up and get good jobs and make piles of money. They are literally taking over the entire world and crushing anyone who gets in their way. Think about how brilliant these tech monopolies are. They went full kingpin. They spent years getting everyone addicted to their platforms. Then, once the free samples got you hooked, they started raising the prices, just like crack dealers. By early 2021, they are pimping their users like a pimp pimps hose.
Amazon is booting Parler off of its web hosting service.
The New York Times reports, Parler, a social network that pitches itself as a free speech alternative to Twitter and Facebook, is suffering from whiplash. Over the past several months, Parler has become one of the fastest growing apps in the United States. Millions of President Trump's supporters have flocked to it.
So that's weird. So you're saying that Amazon's web hosting service has just completely removed it then? Or is that what the article is?
Yeah, Parler has been having a pretty bad week. They get banned off of like Google Play and the Apple Store and all that shit. And now Amazon's just saying, we're not going to allow you to have the website up at all. Go find somebody else. So I guess that the Stone Toss comic about, oh, if you don't like it, just go start your own internet. Just go start your own government. It's finally coming true.
Using Twitter is a privilege, not a right. It's a social media service that you sign up with a private group and they let you on their platform or they don't. And if you don't like what fucking Twitter says, you can just sign off the platform and go somewhere fucking else.
Oh man, that's what pisses me off so hard, because that is always the article, or that's the first thing that everyone says if they're all for it. So say someone gets kicked off of, Twitter doesn't like someone, so they kick them off permanently from Twitter, like they did with Donald Trump, like they did with a lot of people just in the past few days. Yeah. But they say, well, why don't you go find your own website, and if there isn't one that exists, why don't you make your own? Okay. So they make Parler. Parler starts getting attention. After they kick Donald Trump off Twitter, Parler is blowing up. And so what do? They built their own website where they can talk about their own things in their own way. And then all this social pressure, Michelle Obama is calling for all of these places to like permanently ban Donald Trump.
The greatest single threat to your freedom here in the West is a handful of tech tyrants and the trust and safety teams on their platforms who are steering public opinion in certain directions by controlling what you can say and who will hear what you say.
Me personally, I'm one of those people where even if I disagree with somebody, I'd rather them be on the platform and constantly fucking barrage them with facts and reasoning. Using Twitter is a privilege, not a right. It's a social media service that
all of these tech companies probably rely on on each other for stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we also know that they have internal communications between their employees to navigate
right, because how did all this happen overnight,
at
the exact same time?
But everyone what's funny is
I saw that Pinterest banned Trump. Was he big on Pinterest? I mean, I know everyone's got to be a part of this train.
Hey, but look, so what we really have is we have monopolies, but we also have Megatron, or like the Megazord from Power Rangers, where they all combine to make one giant mega monopoly.
To make a fist that when it closes, that is the 5 points.
Like Amazon's the torso, Facebook is the head. You know, it's like and you got the arms and the legs,
right? And
they all combine to beat up poor people.
For instance, anti-vaxxers and all these people are groups that I heavily fucking despise. I despise people that go against basic common sense. Me and my dad especially loses it over people like anti-vaxxers. He just doesn't agree with it. He gets over. My dad has personally seen people like literally on the cusp of dying because their families are on anti-vax fucking, propaganda. So when you have these people on Facebook and they're in their 600-person group and they're fucking talking and there's one dude inciting this nonsense and they get fucking banned, all right, what ultimately happens is they go to another platform where they find 6,000 fucking people.
Well, Twitter just slapped the President of the United States right in the mouth. And there is absolutely nothing he can do about it because the tech tyrants are now more powerful as far as speech is concerned than the U.S. government.
Well, do you guys want to hear Amazon's explanation for why they're taking Parler down?
Oh, yeah,
from their own
absolutely.
words?
Because it has conservatives on it.
It says, recently, we've seen a steady increase in this violent content on your website, all of which violates our terms. It's clear that Parler does not have an effective process to comply with the AWS terms of service. We cannot provide services to a customer that is unable to effectively identify and remove content that encourages or incites violence against others.
Now, again, I said that I don't really agree with bans because I'd rather ideas be challenged. But when there's charismatic motherfucking people leading some crazy, like, dumbasses to, like, violent escapades, maybe at some point, yeah, the private platform has to fucking step in. Because then you got motherfuckers, you know, getting blamed when something goes a bit too fucking far, when something goes beyond the realm of return, right? Now, this leads me into sort of the final point, and one of the reasons I wanted to make the video, which is showcasing to you guys how fucking insane big tech control is over anybody, right? Over anyone in the world. Now, if you look at the story of Cyberpunk 2077, right, you've got big corporations like Arasaka, like Militech, like Sovoil, and all these groups, right? Big corporations with power all over the world. I would argue that there are 4 big corporations nowadays that have some crazy level of power that is unprecedented. Companies like Google, companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Facebook control percentages of the entire internet. You don't believe me? Anytime a Google service as a whole goes down, 30% of the internet fucking drops down with them. Multiple websites go down because these sites host the back end of most of our social media services. Twitter, Apple, whatever you have, they're simply not as big as some of these services out there. Amazon, for instance, provides the back end tech to Apple, to Netflix. So even Apple, right, pays millions upon millions of dollars a month to Amazon to run their entire cloud infrastructure, right? The app stores, the various like firmware update servers that they have, all that shit is done by Amazon. Netflix, whose competitor is Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah. So they're saying you guys do not have enough moderators removing the illegal content.
Yeah, right.
But Twitter has way more.
Doesn't exist on Twitter and Facebook and all over the fucking place. Hey, here's a good question. If they remove Trump from Twitter because he used Twitter as a platform to cause the Capitol Hill riots, then why didn't they remove Twitter? Because Twitter's obviously the platform that's leading to the violence that they're trying to
okay with it.
Get rid of.
They waited until Twitter banned him themselves. They were like, oh, yeah, do whatever you want to do. Oh, you're banning him? Okay, now we're going to start banning everyone else too.
Right.
You know? It's like, yeah. It's all bullshit. It's all monopoly. It's all
just playing into a simple thing. Hey, everyone here is far right. They're all conspiracy theorists, and they're all causing violence.
Oh, it's looking bleak, all right. Because once you're blacklisted by Google, Apple, and Amazon, no one wants to come anywhere near you.
They made an attempt to not only kill the apps, but to actually destroy the entire company. And it's not just these 3 companies. Every vendor, from text message services to email providers to our lawyers, all ditched us too on the same day.
So we've been noticing for a long time that Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube are becoming increasingly tyrannical, relying more and more on their trust and safety teams, aka the thought police, to bully their users into total intellectual and psychological
What fucking Twitter
submission.
says, you can just sign off the platform and go somewhere fucking else.
We've always been told, well, if you don't like it, just go to another platform.
Sign off the platform and go somewhere fucking else.
But now we know that if a bunch of users decide to go to another platform, Google, Apple, and Amazon, a triumvirate that makes Julius Caesar, Pompey the Great, and Crassus look like the 3 Stooges, can Thanos snap your platform out of existence. I'm Crackerjack Dorsey. The green is for the money, the gold is for the honey. And you better get my money, or Jack Dorsey's gonna have to choke a bitch.